from Jose Roberto, and he might just be our star man coming up in the World Cup.
Oh yeah!
Hello and welcome back to another episode as part of the Pacific Pursuit, and welcome back to Brazil, where in today's episode we have two games. Now, you'll notice I said Brazil, and you'll notice that the only job we have is the Brazil job. First of all, I think we have to address that. We were, in fact, sacked by Sao Paulo, which is, I don't know why or how. They got very frustrated with us once again, and they've gone into a load of games now at this point. We're quite a few months ahead. But the final games we had were these two games here, which we won. We would have won this game against the team who were bottom of the league, but they sacked us before that. Now, we didn't really have a good end to the season, which we knew we hadn't done too well, but we won 3 trophies last year. If we're going to take a look at our job history, 3 trophies won there, but apparently it wasn't enough to go on and keep our job for the season. And, you know, we could have been in a job at this point, but what can you do? But now, if we go and into the World Cup and to win it, we are now 4 episodes away from completing the Pacific Pursuit, which is incredible, really. But it's been an incredible journey, and hopefully we can top it off this week with winning the World Cup with Brazil, picking up what would be our, we wanted to win 7, but in total we've won 8, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 18, 19 trophies. And that would be the 20th and final one, which we would do. We have 2 friendlies coming up today. The first against Italy in the Allianz Arena, by the looks. Oh no, it's the Allianz Stadium. They're 2 different things in Italy. And then we play against the USA in the Maracanã. So 2 really good games and 2 potential opponents who we could face in the World Cup. We may or may not have the draw today. We'll have to see. Let's just get straight into it. Let's go and get a few games under our belt before we go to the World Cup, first of all, against Italy. So the team for this game against Italy, we still stay with some of our Sao Paulo boys. Mateus in goal, backline of Di Carvalho, Beraldo, Giacola and Sargent. Here we got Bossi, Lucas, Wanderson in the middle, Hendrick on the left, Estival on the right and Jose Roberto up top. Kick-off here in this game. There's an early chance for us here. It forced Estival out of that post, who's not able to do anything, but he does pick it back up here. One thing to note is that this is not the final squad for the World Cup. We are missing a few players like Beto and who's the other one, Tape as well in the midfield, who you will obviously know from some of the games in the past that we've had with Brazil. Obviously all the branding changes now for the last time, which is crazy. We do get an opening goal here. Against Italy, it's Jose Roberto who will really be looking to try and get those goals in that World Cup campaign. We may or may not have the group stage draw. I may skip ahead to it because when there's no games and nothing, I'm basically unemployed. It's like I don't really have to do much. I just get the scouting reports in and then I pick the players from that. I probably could go into a bit more depth of it, but it's not it's basically being unemployed. You just skip the days, quite quickly, and I think we should be able to go to that group stage draw whenever it is. I think it's around April time, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was in the last World Cup, so we'll have to go and do that and see what happens with it, and hopefully we get a good group. Hopefully we get one good team, and then the other 2 teams will be favourable for us, so it sets us up into a position where we can really go and have a good campaign and start well, but also get a bit of experience and a bit of some of these boys, it might be their first World Cups, and to have that against a big team and then teams who we can also beat will do big favours for the morale. But this team is very, very good, it must be stated. We're starting to transition away from using the more experienced players. There is players in this squad, the more experienced players, but the likes of Rodrigo have now dropped out. We've got Robert Renan who might drop out for the World Cup. That is a decision that will be after made. Jan Couto is the other one, obviously. Beraldo, who is still here, and Beraldo is who's the other one? Not Murillo. I thought it was Murillo. Murillo is not making this squad, but Beraldo is one of the older ones, and Couto. These players we have to think about whether or not they will have the ability to continue in this squad, and whether they'll actually offer anything useful, because when you're trying to bring in players who have good leadership qualities, I think sometimes it's hard to find the difference between their leadership qualities and actually how capable they are, because if they've got those leadership qualities, okay, that's good, but are they just taking up a position on the bench at that point because their quality on the pitch is maybe not the standard that we need? These are things we have to consider, and as we go into this transitional period as well, we have to bring in new leaders and players who have that quality to go on and lead this squad, and I think that is something we definitely can go and find in this very talented and gifted squad. So we'll have to see. Here is a corner on that far side. It's Estival 1-0 just before half time. We play against Italy here, which is probably the more difficult game of the two. Obviously Italy are very good nation, former World Cup winners 2 times I think, if I'm not mistaken, and it will be a very good game in this second half, and it's a very good game to prepare for this World Cup that we do have coming up as 45 minutes goes. We're into the second half here. We do have instructions for a few players to only play 45 minutes. Di Carvalho, we can bring him off there. We'll bring Guilherme onto that left side. Wanderson as well, we can go and bring him off nice and early. I think we go and bring I'm going to bring Paulo Henrique on. He is a bit more of a winger if I'm not mistaken, but we will go and put him into that middle. It's good now because I feel like I'm getting a bit more used to some of the players. Obviously you won't have seen it, but we've had lots of games in the kind of the gaps in the in-between periods, lots of games off camera where we've had to play to qualify for the World Cup, and we had a very good World Cup qualifying campaign. I think we just lost the one game whilst I was managing, because there was a bit of a period before I was in the role where the previous manager was monitoring or managing that campaign. But since we came in, we've done very well. I think they sacked us sacked the previous manager because of a very bad start, and we've gone and done our job. We won the Copa America, and now 2 years later, it's been a long time, we've had to wait, but we made a very good time in Sao Paulo, and now we might have been sacked. I think it's a bit of an FM thing, if I'm honest. Player interactions, board interactions, not the best thing, definitely need an improvement. Hopefully with all that time we have to wait for FM25 in November, that improvement will come. But yeah, as I say, I think it was a bit unfortunate, but we've waited, and now the World Cup is upon us. 75th minute, Italy get themselves a goal here. That is it creeps in at that far post. It's a very fortunate goal really for them. It's well worked. They've got that forward well, and I've said this all along. I think the defense is a bit of a weakness, but if we have to go with the mentality that attack is our defense, then maybe it's something we have to do. I think we have a very capable attack, and we need to go and use it. We got the goal within inside 10 minutes, and I think we are quite good actually getting that first goal. It's just how we do after it, and we'll become quite complacent. Maybe we need to bring in more defenders so we have more options to rotate with. That is a mistake at the back. Jose Roberto is in, and that's as simple as that, and that is very good play. We're playing this pressing tactic. It's a very kind of typical modern day tactic, and that's exactly what we need to force those errors, and it's as simple as that. Maybe we don't need to bring more defenders to try and figure out who is the best player out of all of them. We have Giacola who's returned to the team today, Beto who will return, Beraldo obviously very experienced, and Robert Renan who is another one as well. Di Carvalho, if I'm not mistaken, can also play at centre back. I think we do have capable players, but I think they just need to maybe gel a little bit more. Maybe that's the difference, and we'll have to see when we go into that World Cup period. As 85 minutes goes here in this game, there's a few final chances. It's Destiny Udogi who finds himself on the ball. It goes back to the goalkeeper. Maybe we can force the same mistake. It's out to this right side, more defending required. Can we go and win it back high up the field, or will it be in the defensive areas where we've just spoke about the struggles we have been having? There's a ball into the middle here, and that's square, and we can already see the errors that we've made there. Just the work rate has got to be better. We've got to be closing that ball down so much better, and the man on the near post has got to clear that out. It's really not good enough in terms of the defending. The attacking, I think we can say, is there, but it doesn't mean anything. It's such a different. It's a tale of two tales, whatever it is. I can't remember the saying, but it's a completely different story at each end of the pitch. Attacking wise, it don't mean anything if the defense is not good. Can we get a winner here? Jose Roberto is in. That's a good bit of defending really from the Italy goalkeeper. A bit of composure, and it's unlucky for Jose Roberto to not score 24. He's had a very, very good game, 2 goals, nearly complete the hat-trick. He might still have the chance to here, as Estevao is going to look to play this ball in. Where will he go? To the back post, potentially straight into the middle. We're having a look. It is Jose Roberto on the back post. If it can find him, it goes into Giacoa, into the near post. The full-time whistle goes, and there's still improvements needed to be made here. And the team for this game against Brazil might have been accidentally locked in, but we'll stick with the same, make more changes. We've got Mateus in goal, backline with Di Carvalho, Beraldo, Giacoya and Sargentin, Bossei, Lucas Wanderson in the middle. We've got Hendrick on the left, Estevao on the right, and Jose Roberto up top. Kick off here in this game against the USA. I feel like I said Italy in the pre-match briefing there, but I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we play against the US. We do actually have the draw coming up literally the day after this game. It makes sense really, because this is the friendly period whilst everyone's in their season. I mean, it's crazy really. It's about to be the end of the season for the European teams, but it still feels like we're in that cycle of it being the start of the season for the Brazilian and kind of the South American teams. I'm sad really it ended in the way it did against with Sao Paulo. I should say, I don't know why I'm saying against, but it was a shame really, because I feel like it's a bit of an FM thing, say it quietly, but I don't know, maybe they were frustrated. We didn't have the best league season, but I think I could have got them to a position top 10 maybe, which in recent years there has been much worse finishes, and considering we also won 3 trophies in that time, I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure if it's been the best decision, but what can you do? You'd think a manager who won all those trophies that we have, a Copa Libertadores. We also got a semi-final as well. This is in 3 seasons, by the way, or 2 seasons, 2.5. I think when we had to qualify, was it 2 full? I can't remember really. It's been the Pacific pursuit has been very, very chaotic. It's been a bit longer than I expected, but as part of it really, it's been a very, very good process, and we are nearing the end of it. Wanderson with a shot there, and he's unlucky to not score in the end. But yeah, we've picked up 6 trophies that we wanted to, and all the other additional ones as well. I mean, just looking here now, some of the countries we've been to are actually playing Australia versus Uruguay, 2 countries we have been to all that time ago. We were with the Melbourne Victory, and also Nacional. Are there any others that we can see? Taking a look going down, there isn't any. There's Japan there actually with Nagoya Grampus, and we were in South Korea with Ulsan Hyundai. We also had, where else we've been? Chile with Everton, Sao Paulo with Brazil, and then was there any more? I think we've gone through all of them. The 6 clubs, and then the national teams we've been to include South Korea and Brazil, and here we are nearing the end. That is a lovely goal from Jose Roberto, and he might just be our star man coming up in the World Cup. It's disallowed in the end. That is unfortunate really, but it was a very good bit. It was a good bit of movement, and I think he is going to be a very key player. He's the type of player we're on about in that attack, the quality in the attack where maybe we can exploit players like that, not exploit, but make best use of players like that, instead of having to rely on the defensive kind of issues that we may have. Here's Hendrick on the ball, he goes into Bossei. Hendrick is another more experienced player who will be kind of, the leadership qualities are probably with him, the type of player we're looking at, instead of maybe some of the older players. There is Hendrick with a free kick, and I think it's a good decision to play Hendrick on that left side. A lot of kind of other managers, and I don't know who says it, but they give us like recommendations who to drop and who to call up. A lot of other people wouldn't even pick him for the squad, but I think he's a very, very experienced and very capable player. And on that left side, I think we've always stuck with this front 3 or front 4, or maybe the whole team, if I'm honest. I mean, there's been a lot of core players who've been here for kind of the whole time, and I think Hendrick is rightfully one of them, because he just has that experience. I'm sure he's been to a World Cup before, or many World Cups before, and been to a position. I think they have actually won one recently. Here, there's Jose Roberto, and that's this one. This front 3, Hendrick, a very, very experienced, very capable player. And when you've got players like that, I think I think in a very literal sense, quite often. And I think in Hendrick's case, he is literally a good player. there's too much to do. Sometimes you've just got to take it down to a basic level. Way too much technical thinking, and you've just got to, Brazil is the nation. It's the Joga Bonito nation. You've got to bring in these quality players, and when you've got a quality player like Endrick, you bring him into your team. It's what you do. Jose Roberto's in here again. What a shot it is! That's his second in 2 minutes. That is an incredible goal from Jose Roberto. 38, 39, 4 goals in the last 2 games, and he is going to be the man to watch in this World Cup campaign. 28 caps, 18 goals, and that's going to go up to 29 or 20 goals in 29 games. What a player, and hopefully that can continue going into that World Cup. Now, we do obviously have the draw coming up after this. I hope we obviously get a good group. It'll be interesting to see what the other groups are saying. That's ahead of there, and it's floating around, and no one can do anything with that in the end, but it'll be interesting to see who we can go on and draw. And the excitement's building now. It's been a good episode to reflect on everything, because I guarantee the next 3 episodes, if there is a next 3 episodes, we always have to say this, I think they're going to be very, very chaotic, and we just have to go and see how they go. But I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we can win that World Cup. It'll be the first time I've ever won it, first time I've ever won any of these trophies, I think, which is crazy really. But it's going to be, hopefully we do it. I would love to do it, and we pick up that all famous trophy in the end. There's Sergeant Tim who scores. Lovely finish from him, and that's nice to see one of our Sao Paulo boys scoring there. 3-0 after 45 minutes. And we're going to go into half-time here with this lead. There's going to be another chance for the USA before half-time. They're on the ball here, the edge of the area. They've not really been able to get into the game. I mean, we win it back there. Endrick doing his defensive duty is exactly what you want to see from a player like that. That just shows his quality, really, when he can also do his bit in the defence. I mean, he's more of a striker, but on the left wing, I think he's got that ability to have a bit more freedom, I guess, and I think it will definitely favour him. Here's Wanderson. Can he find Jose Roberto? He just wants these runs in behind. You can tell what he wants. Wanderson goes all the way himself, and that is over the bar in the end. Unlucky to not get the 4th of the game, but this has been a much more convincing display. The USA have not really been able to test us. We probably should have gone away for this game, really, or we should have played another European team potentially. We could have played like a Ukraine. Imagine some of the youngsters that have come out of there. I think they always have good youngsters, and I think it will be interesting to see if we come up against them. I mean, other teams who are playing, I don't know if North Korea qualified. I don't even know. I think the teams who qualify are really rogue sometimes, and maybe they are a team who has qualified. It'd be interesting to come up against them. The other teams who are winning: Paraguay, Bolivia, Bahrain are winning there. We've got Uruguay who are beating Australia. So we've got who was it? Nacional who are beating Melbourne Victory there. Australia probably will have some good youngsters as well. We'll have to see, really, but I can't wait for this. It's going to be really, really good, and hopefully we can top off the Pacific Pursuit with a good bit of glory. I mean, we've been very tactical in our job decisions, and we've got jobs that when they've gone up, we've picked them for the future. We know that they're going to get us those trophies in the end. I think it's been very, very tactical, and it can't have gone much better, really. Here's Wanderson in behind. That's into the hands of the USA goalkeeper. A lot of players on asking for 45 minutes. I don't know what happens if you disregard it, because we've disregarded quite a few of these guys. We'll go and make some changes now. I want on this left wing. I think we're going to bring on Laran. He is on the wrong wing, unless these two can switch. We'll swap them there as an inverted wingers. There's a few other changes we can probably look to make. Zangrandi is an interesting player who's not really seen much of him, but he has come into this team. I think he came in the last camp, and he's a very, very capable player. Obviously, Manchester United, as you can see there, we will bring him in. Robert Renan will also bring him in once again. He's up to 76 caps, and quite a lot of them have been with us. A Corinthians player, and that experience is important. I think it's good to bring it in, and especially at this point in the game, just to see out the win. It's not the whole game, but to see out the result, I think it's a very reasonable change to make. And I think a lot of managers will probably think my way of international managing is not very good, but if it works, and it's worked pretty well so far. Obviously we've not had as big of a test as we will coming up, but I think it's very kind of literal. You would get your best players, you play your best players, and you go and win games. It's as simple as that. That's exactly what we've done. You don't get afforded much time to work with these boys. That is a lovely goal from Loran on the edge of the area to make it 4-0. But as I said, you don't get afforded much time to do much, so you just have to play your best players. It's like school football, where you pick your team and you try to pick the best players, and then you play them wherever's best for them. That's what we're doing here, and I think it makes a lot of sense where the way we have been managing. But that big test is coming up in the World Cup, and we will have the draw coming up next as the USA do get what you'd think would be a consolation. I think we are in the Maracana, the stadium of Flamengo, if I'm not mistaken. We're in a 50,000 seater stadium. I don't know if they've moved us around sometimes. We are in the Arena Castellao, which is the stadium of CN Fortaleza as well. FAC, who repping the Sao Paulo badge, which is interesting really. That goal has been disallowed for the USA by the looks of it, but we're into the final few moments of what has been a very, very good game here. It's Paulo Henrique on the edge of the area. Can he have the shot? He does, into that bottom left corner. The substitute makes it 5 here in this game, and that is a very, very good performance, topped off 5-star performance, I guess you could say, and that is some good preparation going into the World Cup. We do have one more set of friendlies, and that the final squad will be there. There is a few players who may be leaving this squad, and a few players who you'd expect to join back into the squad. We'll have to see, but I guess the focus now is on to that World Cup and onto this draw as well, which will be a good way to top off what has been a very good episode. I think these results were maybe expected, but they've got to be a little bit better going into the World Cup. One-legged games, there's no second chances. What a time it's going to be in the next 3 episodes, hopefully. Let's go and have a look at this draw. So we'll get underway here in the World Cup draw. There is 12 groups and 48 teams, so this is going to take quite a while, I think. We are in pot 1. South Africa are in pot 1 apparently. I think they are they the hosting nation? I'm not too sure really. There's no way to check here. I think they might be. If we go and take a look, Brazil are not out yet. We are still not out, and there we are into Group H. If we just go and skip this, England, Japan there, Argentina, Morocco, France, Uruguay, Netherlands, Algeria, Portugal, Ghana, Spain, the USA, Brazil and Cameroon. That's going to be an interesting fixture. Cameroon actually beat Brazil in the 2022 World Cup, a 1-0 win when Brazil were already qualified. Nigeria, South Korea, Turkey, Serbia, that'll be an interesting group. Italy, Mexico, Belgium and Colombia. If we continue to advance, we'll just get through. These are the pot 3 teams: Group F, Group G and Group H. We draw Australia, one of our former nations, and the team who we won we didn't win it, we won against them in the Asian Cup final, and obviously managed there with the Melbourne victory. Continue to advance here. These are the pot 4 teams, and our final team in our group is Ukraine as well. That is incredible. 2 former nations of ours across the channel, and Ukraine with all those good youngsters. I'm sure they'll have Shakhtar Donetsk. What a club that was when we were there. Those are the groups, and we will be in a group, if we go and advance quickly, against Australia, Cameroon and Ukraine. That is a very, very interesting group, and hopefully we'll get through it in tomorrow's episode. If you did enjoy that video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll leave you with this little tune, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the World Cup group stage. Thank you, bye bye.